And Paula, I want to turn now to new numbers released by the FBI. They show violent crimes in the U.S. have increased for a second straight year. Paula, what did the newest FBI numbers show specifically?
Exactly what you said. This is the second year in a row where we have seen an increase in violent crime. And even though overall violent crime remains at historic lows, 2 years in a row you see an increase, although it is driven specifically by sharp increases in crime in a couple big cities.
Well, violent crime numbers are drastically lower than they were 20 or 30 years ago. So is it unfair to say that violent crime is rising?
Well, there are a lot of experts out there right now who are saying it's unfair. They're saying, look, compared to 25, 50 years ago, crime is dramatically lower than it was then. But it is important to notice these are national statistics, and Chicago and these other cities, they're going to be incorporated in these numbers just as they were 5 or 6 years ago. It's important, of course, to see the increase in context, but you can't undercut the fact that, yes, over the past 2 years, there has been an increase in that overall national number.
And Paula, what does Attorney General Jeff Sessions say about this increase?
Well, Elaine, he probably wants to come out and say, hey, I told you so, because for the past 9 months, he's been coming out in his speeches and saying that he believes that there is a trend, an increase in crime. When we press him on why he thought that, because we didn't have these statistics, he pointed to these increases in Chicago and other cities. He said he does not believe it's a blip. He said it's a pattern, and he has pushed forward policies that he believes will help combat that. Specifically, he has implemented a more aggressive approach to gun crimes at the federal level, but that policy is controversial. And Elaine, I think that's why you're seeing some people who are trying to put this number in context and kind of tamp down the headlines that violent crime is increasing, because perhaps they don't agree with Attorney General Sessions' approach to reducing it.
And Paula, do we have a sense of what's driving this increase?
There are a lot of different theories, but the prevailing theory appears to be the so-called Ferguson effect. This is something that the former FBI director, James Comey, endorsed. Jeff Sessions has also pointed to the fact that around 2015 is when we started to see this increase in crime. And there are people that argue the Ferguson effect is when perhaps officers are less likely to get out of their cars and do that routine beat policing for fear of the kind of scrutiny that we saw following Ferguson and many other high-profile police use of force incidents. There are a lot of people who argue that this is what is driving crime. And interestingly, Elaine, today, the new FBI director, Christopher Wray, in the release for these new statistics, he noted that it is very important for the FBI to continue to press to get statistics on police use of force, because those really don't exist. He said that is a very important piece of the puzzle here. While no one can actually prove what is causing this increase in crime, this tends to be the prevailing theory among top federal law enforcement officials.
All right, Paula Reid in Washington for us. Paula, thank you.